Hello, buddy. This is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And today's title is 4-14-7. 4-14-7. Some of you that have been around me forever know exactly what I'm talking about. And we'll get started just in a moment once Meta gets their algorithms and go out there and find all the people that are following me to get this video to them. And we'll get started just in 1 minute. So, hello, Bill. Hi, Vernay. Hi, Craig. Happy Tuesday. There's a bunch of twos that happen on this day. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, John Tier, Eric, Melody. Love and appreciate you. Thank you, Pat. Arthur, Craig again. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you guys so much, man. Hey, Paul. Hey, Eric. Great to see you on here. Is that the correct combination? Of course it is. Mary. Hi, Lisa Marie. Hi, Scott. Great to have you guys on here. And I see that we're after the minute, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And today's title is 4-14-7. Okay? So this is all about some of the stuff that my mentors first taught me. All right? So what it's all about is when you look at this book, and it's, I'll try to get it as good as I can, Financial Success Through Creative Thought by Wallace D. Wattles. Now, this was this was wrote by Wallace D. Wattles, I believe in 1910. 1910, right? And one of the things that it's always unique to find out where people's thoughts are things, where their head is. It's all about if you can constantly sort people by saying, hey, listen, I'll send you the free link to the book. Now, I found this link, and I'm going to share it with you guys only because I think it's so cool that you actually get to see the original book. And so this has actually gone through Google, so you'll see it on here. So Financial Success Through Creative Thought. And of course, they put, or the science of getting rich. So when did they rename the title? I don't know, right? But here's some things that I want to share with you that are so important. And I just had an amazing conversation with my wife. So chapter 4 is the first principle in the science of getting rich. So if you were going to learn the basics, if you were going to know anything to anything, don't you think that you should truly know what the first principles is? And believe it or not, there's so many successful people in the world that have gotten this book, right? And altered and changed their own whole life. Andrew Carnegie became the wealthiest person in the world. The last time that I did any report on this, I'm going to do a research and do a video of it. But Andrew Carnegie at that time was worth, this was probably 2017, I did the research. And get this, he was worth over $310 billion if you're using normal inflation from 2017. So when you really think about this guy read this book and became the wealthiest person in the world, and then he hired, listen to this, he hired a cub reporter named Napoleon Hill. Then he gave him access to interviewing 500 of the most wealthiest people in the world. Henry Ford, presidents, Woodrow Wilson, Henry, I was trying to think, Woolworth, J.C. Penney, all of these people, right? And then what he asked them to do is do a 20-year study with all these people and interview them and find out what the three main attributes were. And those are OPI, OPE, and OPM. That's going to be another video. But bottom line, listen to this first principle. So, Andrew Carnegie, of course, Rhonda Byrne, read this book when her husband died. Her daughter gave it to her. They lost their business. And she came out with a phenomenon called The Secret. So it was the first pay-per-view online where people could go and watch, and now you can see that on secret.tv. So when she read this book, it inspired her to such an extent that she said, I want to find out who knows the principles of this book. I want to find out who says that this book is amazing. Of course, that's when she found Hicks, so I always think Abraham Hicks, but Esther Hicks, Jerry and Esther Hicks. Esther Hicks was on the first Secret movie. Bob Proctor. If you watch The Secret and seen all these people that said once they read the secrets in this book and studied them, that everything changed for them. Everything. And so then she wrote the book, and then she got on Ellen DeGeneres, she got on Oprah, she got on Larry King. The last estimate, again, I got so inspired, and the reason I got inspired was I read the 3 chapters before I jumped on here. And it just brought me to, such a place of excitement, but it brought me to a place of getting more centered, getting more focused, on exactly how simple being successful, being happy, being fulfilled is, right? So the first principle, there's if you've heard The Strangest Secret, by Earl Nightingale, the strangest secret was on only this first principle. And that principle is what you think about the most, you get. What you think about the most, you get. So if you're constantly upset with the government, you're constantly upset with the economy, and you're constantly upset with all the injustice that's going on in this world, if you're constantly thinking about what you don't want, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. And it's the economy. It's whoever's running the government at the time. It's all these people that are infighting. It's inflation. If your constant thoughts are on what you don't want, that's what you get. Now, I'm a human being just like every one of you. And I do this all the time. I do this all the time. I find myself thinking and focusing on the wrong things. You can't focus on poverty to make poverty disappear. You can't have a war on drugs and not make it worse. Mother Teresa said it best. People asked her all the time, why? Why don't you ever come to a protest? And she says, because you're focusing on the thing that is not right. If you ever have a rally, a pep rally about, happiness and giving and being a human being, being kind, loving one another, count me in. Count me in. But I'm not going to go to something where a bunch of people are mad at another group of people. Okay? So the other thing that I love about this principle is this one thought, is that everything that we use, this computer, Facebook, this camera, this laptop, the lighting, the room that I'm in, the trophies and plaques behind me, everything was first a thought. It was a thought of going, you know what? We need shelter. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a cave. We're going to find a cave. Then one day someone said, you know what? You can actually, put up sticks, cut trees that are long and we can take buffalo hides and we can wrap those around this thing. Someone can call it a teepee. It's a dwelling. It's a dwelling. Somebody else said, wow, there's rocks everywhere. what if I could take these rocks and form up something that gets really, really hard? So we'll make it wet, mix up these, things, and it gets hard. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my house out of rocks. And another person went, what if we could use logs? And they come up with a log cabin. And they take the time to cut the trees down, make them as, circular as they can, cut notches in them. Right? Are you guys listening to me? And then someone said, wow, what if we took a bunch of ground and mixed it right and it would get hard and we'll just make bricks? So I've seen people all over the world that take this clay that's mixed, put it in a form, smash it down, and then create bricks. Right? So those were all thoughts. Someone thought it and pushed it into that formless substance and then thought, how can I make this? How can I create this? How can I make this? How can I create this? How can I? So there's one group of people that cut down trees just to make a log cabin. Then there was another group of people that went, what if we made the cabins for them? Because they don't know how. So I'll start a business, hire some people, and I'll do that. So if your thoughts based on belief and faith, if other people did it, then you just got to learn the certain way that they did it. Now, there's a lot of people on this planet, a lot of them, that if you go from not working for someone to, working for someone to not working for someone, and you're making more money than you had as a job, is that considered success? Depends on the person that wrote their definition of success. See, every one of you that are watching this video live or recorded, you know your definition of success. You know what your definition of happiness is. You know what your definition, if you wanted to wrap them all together, look up the word fulfillment. So the goal in life is to always be in a situation where you're learning from people and you're figuring out and asking them what's the certain way they do things to get the life that they have. So when you say to people, hey, listen, let me send you a link. It's a free book on Google. It was written in 1910. And some of the most successful people on the planet, including Robert Hollis, says that when they read this book, it altered and changed their whole life. So reading that first chapter, there are a lot of thoughts that I shouldn't be having. There's a lot of things that I'm focusing on that I shouldn't be focusing on. You want me to share one with you? Is for whatever reason, I do my very, very, very best to take the wisdom and the knowledge in the certain way that my mentors gave me to allow me to be in the process, the success and happiness and freedom I have. And it just really, 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 really gets me unfocused when I'm trying to figure out how to get that information to people like you. I spend way too much time wondering why a person wouldn't follow the certain way. And I also will change, starting today, to be my very best to not get upset or give any thought or get out of my center, my excitement, my enthusiasm of wanting to help other people that have never heard this wisdom. And instead of getting people that have heard it that don't want to apply it. See, when I see people go from mentor to company to company to mentor to mentor to mentor to company to coaching to training to book to book, when I see them doing that, I, Robert Hollis, spend too much time. asking myself why they do that. Why they won't find someone that's documented and just do the simple things that they do. And it's held me back from achieving some of the great things that I know that I can accomplish, including helping millions of more people that have never heard this information. I got to focus on finding the Robert Hollises out there that are on their knees praying for a better life. That's the people I got to consistently focus on, finding the right people at the right time, instead of busting my butt trying to figure out reasons why the people that already follow me won't listen to the word I have to say. So that's my mess up, right? So let's go to the second one, 14. 14 is the impression of increase. When people die, when people get depressed, is when they're no longer growing. And if they already know everything, I did a video on this, if they already know everything, then there's no way that I can teach them. See, if they really believe in a way that they were taught by somebody else, and they don't want to listen to me because they don't understand, or they don't perceive, or they can't change their paradigm, that's not my problem. But from the time that a seed is planted, its number one goal is to increase. Its number one goal is to become more than they are. A tree, a plant, a human being, an animal. You know, the goal is constantly, if you ever have this learned helplessness, it's because you're no longer growing. You're no longer learning. You're no longer challenging yourself. You're just in that place of complacency, comfort, complaining, victimize. I'm a victim, excusitis, and sad to say, a majority of the people stay there. They just stay there. They're constantly talking about what they're going to do and never doing it. Never, ever, ever doing it. So there's a human part of me, or a compassionate, empathy, love, that I want this more than they want for themselves. And I completely keep forgetting that I can't spend my time on people that won't participate in their own rescue. When the student's ready, the teacher appears. And so when I went back and read these 3 chapters, and I went, I've done this numerous times. And every time I do it, it helps me refocus. It helps me realize what I was put on this planet for, what my purpose is, what my passion is, which is to give wisdom to people that don't have it. And the people that apply it, and the people that don't. Right? So if you're ever in a position where you're constantly struggling and confused and overwhelmed and woe is me, it's all because you've decided not to grow anymore. So there it is, right? So the impression of increase is not only to get super excited about learning new things or mastering old things, that you know that if you shared with others and they were at the right place at the right time, they'll listen to 4, 14, and 7, they'll do them in that order, and then they'll go out and change their attitude, change their thoughts, and change the world. And then sometimes they'll do it for a while and then they'll forget it. And like me, and they got to come back to it, right? So the last one is, of course, chapter 7, which is gratitude. And even reading this today, I was sharing this with my wife, that it really, really got me again. Because being grateful for all things being grateful for all things. You know, sometimes the number one complaint in this industry that we're in is, oh my God, I bring people in and they do nothing. I just told you that that's what gets me. So not focusing on 4, not focusing on 14, not talking to new people that have never heard the wisdom, like me. Science of getting rich. What financial success through creative thought? What is this? It was a book that was written in 1910. One of the thoughts that I'm going to do when I get off of here so I don't forget is go into AI and write, you know, simply, Financial Success Through Creative Thought by Wallace D. Wattles. Who has given credit to this book for their fulfillment and success? Just see what it can find on the internet. I know if you go to thesecret.tv, she goes into quite a few people that give credit to this book. And I'm talking, you know, I've heard of Bill Gates, Apple, you know, Steve, come on, click. But the whole point, Steve Jobs, is that the whole point is that you find people that are successful, and then you find out what they say that got them there, and you just follow that certain way. So here's the point that I want to leave with gratitude, and then I'll end here. Do you guys realize that you can complain about the government? You can complain about the politicians. You complain about the economy. You can complain about inflation. You can complain of whatever party's in power or whatever party's not doing anything. But what if you gave gratitude for the experiment that we have? And you wasn't born and raised in Darfur. You wasn't born and raised in some of these places that there's like no food, no water, no electricity, no anything. See, we can really, really, really complain about a lot of different things based on where you live. I know my videos get seen all over the world, but they're not being seen by people that don't have electricity and don't have internet and don't have a smartphone. And so we have a tendency, I have a tendency, and some of the people that I know, to constantly be complaining about, you know, why would people look at this opportunity and this and the freedom of the internet and get on and do nothing but want to share wisdom with other people, and they just refuse not to do it. So I've really sort of, in my mind, looked at the existing organization I already have and just go, I don't know why they don't want to. You know, the principles are simple. You help other people get what they want in life, and you get what you want in life. The way to greatness and fulfillment is the service of many. That your goal each and every day, people say, I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my calling is. It's to learn and grow and share that with people that want to grow. And you're supposed to find the people that have ears to hear. So, you know, people can write up all this nasty and ugliness about, you know, not getting enough money from the government and not getting paid enough, you know, the quiet quitters. You know, it might be harder on you if the government didn't pay you anything, and it might be harder on you if your job fired you. So why aren't we focused on, man, I am just so grateful that I have an opportunity to make money, to pay for rent, to pay for mortgage, to pay for groceries, pay for bills. No, our constant focus is, oh my God, they don't pay me enough. They don't pay me enough. The bills are too high. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And so you just keep living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm mad that these people overwork me for little pay. And the government takes taxes and there's sales tax. And I live paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And so you're constantly stuck. You're constantly stuck in a place because you won't think about anything else. You won't take this little word of being grateful. And, I know people that complain about this industry. My son, I seen Matthew on here, and there's whole group Reddits about how negative home-based businesses are. Are you listening to people that fail? Are you listening to the people that didn't try? Are you listening to people that don't have the time to read 3 chapters of a book that's online for free? Those people that are consistently focusing on the negative? Do people lose money in the home-based business arena? Yes. Do they lose money in the stock market? Yes. Do they lose money on properties? Yes. Do they lose money virtually everywhere? Yes. The banking's set up for you to get loans for things that you can't afford so that they can charge you interest and charge you more than it was worth. It's called a loan. It's called debt. Yeah. So, why can't you be successful? It's because you're focusing on the wrong things for too much time. This industry is simple. My wife and I were talking about this. Every day, I need to find people that are dissatisfied in one or more areas of their life. And they got to be dissatisfied to the point that they're willing to read 3 chapters in a book. They got to be dissatisfied to a point where they want to change something. They want to learn something. They want to get a new perspective, a new paradigm shift on something. If they don't change their minds, nothing will change. So, can you imagine being grateful for everything? Think about that. People would like a nicer home. How grateful are you to the home that you have? The ability to be able to have the funding to have a place that has shelter, that keeps you out of below zero weather. Keeps you out of the snow. Would I like a nicer home in a nicer area? Why not? But I got to be grateful for this one. I got to be grateful for the location that it's in. I got to be grateful that someone shared with me some wisdom, where if I share that with others, it alters and changes people's lives. All day, every day, I get to say to people, hey, you know what? Have you heard of Science of Getting Rich? No. It was written in 1910 by Wallace D. Wattles. It used to be called Financial Success Through Creative Thought. It was written in 1910, and I can send you a Google link where this book has inspired some of the most successful people on the planet, including Andrew Carnegie, that commissioned Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill. You can go on AI and actually write in and say, hey, is Think and Grow Rich one of the most sold books on the planet? See, I heard that. Now I get to go to AI and try to figure out how close it is, because I know that AI isn't perfect either. But the points is I can change my thoughts. I can catch myself thinking the wrong things. And I can deliberately, with intentions, do my best to try to think about being grateful, finding people at the right place at the right time that have ears to hear, that are praying and begging for a better way, that I can, understand that if I have something of value that others don't have, that I can share with them. So if they turn around and say, oh, are you telling me I can actually serve other people and put them in a better position and get paid to do that? Yes, you can. You can show people how to exchange their buying power from a Walmart, a Target, a Costco, an Amazon, and they can get better quality premium products delivered right to their home. And they can switch their buying power a couple $100 a month and have better quality products for them and their family. And once they try them with a money back guarantee and you like them, then I can share with you a business where not only can you get in for free, but you can make money without investing a dime by sharing this opportunity, this new wisdom of moving our buying power to someone who cares. That as we go out there and share with other people, that they can buy products from their self and learn to be in business, not by their self. You see what I mean? So they're in business for their self, but not by themselves. Because there's people that have been here before us that know the certain way, that know the ideas and concepts that you must have and constantly put into your head and your mind to change the way you think. So you're thinking about increase. You're thinking about, wow, what if I had 100 people in my group that moved their buying power? And that was, 100 times 100, that's 1,000. And, the income that was created from that, or 10,000. And I could, increase my income by an extra $1,000 a month. When the world right now can't find a way to get the $400 that they lost from this year to last year. And are there people that have, 5,000 people in their group? Are there people that have 10,000? Have people in this industry over the past 73 years put 1 million people in a group? The answer is yes, yes, and yes. Oh, Robert, I don't need to make $1 million a month. Great, then focus on 400. But if you don't change your thoughts, you don't change your thoughts of increasing, you don't start to be grateful for everything and stop focusing on all the negative stuff, all the stuff that is taught to you, all the stuff that's shared to you is not going to change because you didn't change. So, I believe in each and every one of you. If no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me be the first. Let me be the first. I know Craig's giving you a lot of information here, and you can do this. There's no doubt in my mind that you can do this. But if you don't believe that you can, or you listen to outside influences and opinions that say, I don't know, you're always going to be ordinary, average, below average, that there's really not a chance for you, that it's all rigged against you, that based on your childhood and the stuff that happened in your life and the government and the economy, because of all this stuff, you don't have a chance. Wow. Because there's people that are changing that every day. Every day we hear about success stories of people that believed that they could increase, that they could be better than they were before. And they're very grateful of everything in their lives. And they just seem to keep getting more. So, I love and appreciate you. If no one's giving you permission to be fulfilled and happy and successful, let me be the first. My mentors did that for me. Make sure to share this video with people right now that lost hope. There is a way. It's not perfect, but we have a better way. I'll leave you with this. I was sharing this with Terry. My mentor looked at me, and you guys have heard this story, but it's very important. And he said to me, Robert, where do you see yourself 3 years from now? And I said, I just need to get out of this financial bad situation because I believe that I'm going to rehab my knee because I was hurt from couldn't be a mechanic, and I'm going to be a crew chief. And he said two things. He said, Robert, do you get paid as a crew chief? I said, yeah, you definitely get paid as a crew chief. And he said, so you're getting a job to get money. I said, yeah, duh. And I can remember him saying this, excuse me, like yesterday. He goes, so why do you need money? I go, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I need money for rent. I need money for electricity and food. I need money for gas. I need money for clothing. I need money to take care of my family. And he goes, so the only way you know how to make money is to get a job. Yeah. Robert, there's ways to make money without having a job. If you need money for things that are necessities, things that we have to have, why don't you just focus on people that know how to make money? Job is not necessary for money. Do you know how much that messed up my head? That just messed up my head. And I was going, wow. He goes, Robert, I learned from people. I worked at a tire store. I learned from people that understand these principles. And I would love to share those principles with you. And if you apply them, you can take a non-educated guy that works at a tire store, and I can show you how to have 30,000 people responsible for your income, and you can get a check just like mine for $62,000. And you guys must have understood where my mind was going. Oh. He goes, what's wrong? I just hate sales. I'm not a salesperson. I'm sort of an introvert. See, I immediately went into all the excuse-itis. If you only knew, my past and all the stuff. I don't have a family. If you just knew all the awful stuff that has happened to me. And he said, Robert, I know you can do this. I go, you do? And he goes, yeah, because I did it. But you got to learn to think different. If you think like everybody else, you're going to be like everybody else. He says, I can teach you because people taught me. And I said, you really think I can do this? And he goes, I know you can. You got to get excited. You got to think about your life 3 years from now, and you got to think about it all day, every day. You got to develop that perfect day. Then what you got to do is you got to go ask people to do you a huge personal favor and ask them if they know anyone that's dissatisfied. I narrow it down. I say, do you know anyone that needs to make some extra money? And when they say, what is this? You share the information with them. Some see it. Most don't. But man, when you find the people like me that said, wow, what if I could really do this? He made me understand the numbers. He said, Robert, the first thing that you need to do is count the numbers. I need you to get 70 people to watch this video. I don't need you to connect with 70 people. I don't need you to get turned down by 70 people. I don't need you to do anything but make sure that 70 people watch this video. And you got to create momentum. So you got to do that in your first 30 days. There's nothing better than your first 30 days. And if you're watching this and you've already been in longer, then start your 30 days tomorrow. You always can recreate your own story. You can always say, well, I got involved in this industry 80 years ago. I'm joking. And I've been with a lot of companies. But I really didn't take it serious. I never decided to focus on the combination, the 4-14-7. I never really took it serious. And so when I decided to take it serious, that's when my whole life changed. So that's how you can turn it into anything you want. Right? Hey, I played around with this industry for whatever, been in multiple companies trying to sell everything. And then I finally decided to go the certain way. And when I made that decision and made that commitment, things happened. So I got 72 people to watch the video and my life changed. Do I think that can happen for you? It's numbers. Yeah, it can happen for you. You can do more than I. But if you're focusing on other things other than getting people introduced to watch something that's created to get their attention, for them to create a free account, and them take the focus of learning how to be able to share this with others, then there you are. So you know what people spend a majority of their time doing? Finding out ways to do everything other than what's required. What if I could run an ad and everybody just buys stuff and I never have to talk to anybody? I never have to connect. I never have to tell people how me applying this stuff changed my life. Maybe I can just post a bunch of products online and everybody will buy them. How is that working? So like Jim Rohn said, you can make money selling products, but I'm looking for people that want to make a fortune. That when they're no longer here, someone does a hero video for you that went, oh my God, this person impacted millions of people. There it is. So, I said I love and appreciate you already, but I do. I told you that I believe in you. Please do me a huge personal favor. I appreciate it, and share this video with others. But if people are not willing to do the simple things, they're not going to get results. And so if I'll go back to the basics, don't you think maybe you should? You're worth it. You already possess everything that you need to be happy and successful. You just have the world tell you that you don't. So then they keep selling you stuff. They keep getting you distracted. Stop doing that. Love you and see you on the next video. Bye for now.